Obeisances, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and the beautiful singing and beautiful tunes. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vanita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you for joining and all glories to your services. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you for joining every day and your beautiful chanting. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. This is Priyamvada Radha Priya Devidasi from Canada. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome, Vada Krishna Prabhuji, after a long time. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Welcome to the call. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're very fortunate to have His Grace, Haridas Varya Prabhuji, and he'll be enlightening us on the topic of sacred vow, Margasisha, session 14. I would like to share Srila Prabhupadaji's quote before handing the call to Prabhuji. They have forgotten Krishna. They have forgotten God, and I am trying to make them Krishna consciousness. It is a very difficult job. I have to shed my blood 3 tons before I can make on convinced in Krishna consciousness. That is my experience. I have to talk with them, especially the Europeans and Americans. They don't accept anything so blindly. Hong Kong, April 18, 1972. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Haridas Varya Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your valuable time and association this morning. Welcome to the call after such a long break. Looking forward to hearing from you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat pranams to. Am I audible? First and foremost, just
Yes,
wanted to check.
Prabhuji. Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you very much for the warm welcome again. It's my immense pleasure that I am amongst the most serious practitioners who are constantly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavat. And it is my great moment of pleasure that I am amongst the Bhagavatas, those who are always eager to hear Krishna's glories. Yes, it's been quite a break. We have spent more than a month and a half seeing all these different sessions on the sacred vow of Margasisha. And we covered up to verse number 11, where Andal was going across each and every household and waking up her friends. After a month and a half, here we are again, continuing this session. I would like to first and foremost thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak and continue this glorious sessions of Sacred Vow of Margasisha. And a lot of gratitude goes to our organizers, listeners, well-wishers, everyone. And without the mercy of the Acharyas and the Parampara, it's quite impossible to take such a task of explaining these beautiful verses which Andal has given to people in general. So we would restart our session, ideally, by glorifying the Acharyas by speaking Mangalacharan. So let us all join together to offer our pranams, offer our prayers, offer Mangalacharana unto the Acharyas who have been extremely kind upon us to give us this opportunity to hear and speak about Tirupavai. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सकलललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्. So, welcome once again, my dear devotees, to this session of the sacred vow of Margasisha. I know many of you would feel that it's a lost memory because we have covered already 11 verses. So, as a quick recap, and many of you would get back the memory when you see the slides, what has been the story so far? We started this journey in December, and when we started, it was the month of Margasisha, and hence we started this brilliant story from Srimad Bhagavatam about the Katyayani Vrata and how the southern part of India, Andal, had drawn her influence from the gopis and drawn her inspiration from the gopis and had ensured that all her friends joined together to perform this sacred vow. So the story so far is there was onset of Margasisha in Vrindavan, and as the Margasisha month, which is a sacred month, the permission for the vow was given by the elderly parents, and they allowed the gopis to perform this vow. Apparently, Krishna was chosen as a security guard to allow all these women, all these young girls, Nanda Vraja Kumarikaha, to travel on the shore of Yamuna and take a bath. So Krishna was chosen as a security guard. And in the meanwhile, Andal, she calls for an action. She calls all the gopis and her fellow gopis to perform this vow of Margashish. In the first 5 verses, she lays down the purpose, why it is done, for whom it is done, when it will be done, for what, and all these are available on YouTube if you want to look back at those videos and rekindle the memory, rekindle the reasons of why Andal is calling to action all her friends, and she is encouraging them to follow the vow of Margashish, which is to take bath in the cold waters of Yamuna. She also explains in her verses the do's and don'ts and what they would do for these 30 days. And she also mentions about the result that will be obtained by following this vow. She also talks about the ulterior desires of the Vrindavan Vasis, which is to get rainfall, because there was an artificial drought kind of condition which was formed in Vrindavan. And she's also looking for the musical drum to perform Sankirtan, which in the Tamil language is called as Parai. And finally, she glorifies the very means of achieving this vow. And she speaks about how this vow is supremely beneficial to fulfill their hidden desire, which is to have Krishna as their husband. But once she calls for action, the next day they start their journey towards Yamuna. However, when they regroup in the morning, they find that some of their friends are missing. To be precise, out of the 5 lakh young gopis, 4,99,990 gopis are along with Andal, but the 10 premium prime leader gopis are missing. And Andal takes it upon herself that she leaves no one behind. She goes to each and every house and she knocks on the door, convinces the gopi to join them in this sacred vow. So till now, we saw the first gopi who was a new recruit, a newcomer, and there are conversations between Andal, her set of gopis, and there is a lot of convincing which is being done, which are spiritual conversations. There are also humorous conversations. There are signs of how the morning sun has arisen in the horizon. So all these conversations have ensured that 6 gopis have joined along with Andal. That is where we stopped. The first was a newcomer. The second was an ecstatic mad girl in love with Krishna. The third was Krishna Priya, one who was very favorite to Krishna. The fourth was a very close relative. The fifth was a deeply immersed and the one who had a lot of saintly qualities. The sixth one was the highest ranked gopi among her friends. So today, she's going to wake up a very unique gopi who is the sister of an eternal companion of the Lord. So let's go right into the verse for today. And let us all try to open the heart. And let's all try to transport ourselves into the village where Andal is knocking on the door of the 7th girl who is missing in action, who has not joined them for going towards the shores of Yamuna to take the morning ritual bath. But how would we do that? How would we open our hearts? How would we ensure that we can see this as if it's a theater right in front of our eyes? We would be using these 6 dimensions to gain deeper meanings and try to open the windows or the portals of Vrindavan. We would start with the context setting. We would talk about the verse that she sang for the 7th young gopi. We would try to look at them from Acharya's commentary. Based on that commentary, we would try to draw parallels from Srimad Bhagavatam. We would also look at Shikshashtakam and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And finally, we would try to look at all of these things from a pictorial perspective. I hope that when you see these slides, it's bringing you back to our earlier sessions, and we would follow the same course so that it's very easy for us to follow this. So without further ado, let's go into the first dimension, which is the contextual setting. And as I said, on the left, you can see that the 4,99,994 gopis, in fact, 96 gopis have joined Andal's troop. There are only 4 who are remaining to join, and they are fast asleep. And what Andal is trying to do today is she's going to go to the 7th gopi who is missing, and she's standing at the porch, knocking on the doors and saying the verse. But before we go ahead, we would like to have some background about this gopi who is sleeping inside. She is actually the sister of a Gopala, or a cowherd boy, or a cowherd man. She's a sister who is an eternal companion of the Lord. What does that mean? So the Braj community, the community of Braja, there are a lot of Brajvasis who have their daily tasks. Some are simple milkmen, some are cowherd boys, some are the milkmaids of Vraja. So they have their duties. And we saw in the previous verse how the cowherd men are very, very pakka, or they are very staunch in their service towards the community, that they will protect their community at all costs. But there is a twist in the tale. When we come to the verse number 12, which is today, we see about a person, a cowherd Brajbasi, who has left his duties. And he doesn't take care of his duties. All he does is constantly associate himself with Krishna. If Krishna wants to sit down, he will make a nice cushioned seat for Krishna. If Krishna wants fresh air, he will do the charmer service for Krishna. If Krishna wants to protect himself from the strong sun, he will make a nice turban for Krishna. If Krishna wants to have fragrance, he will bring the best of the flowers from Vrindavan. He will string a garland of those fresh forest flowers, fragrant forest flowers, and give it to Krishna. In this way, he always ensures that he is with Krishna. He is performing all activities for Krishna's service. We are talking about such a cowherd boy. And he would accompany Krishna everywhere. If Krishna goes into the water, he will also go into the water. If Krishna goes into a forest, he will also go along with Krishna. Wherever Krishna goes, he is there. And he is an eternal companion. He will do all kinds of services for Krishna. But we are not talking about the Gopa or the Gopala who is actually doing service for Krishna. Andal is more interested in her sister who is sleeping inside. But it is very important for us to understand the retinue of the family. It is very important for us to understand what kind of family are we talking about. So here the sister of such a very elevated eternal companion of the Lord is sleeping inside and is not coming out and joining the entourage which is going towards Yamuna. And also to give a more picturization of the verse, Andal gives us more hints. Consider a very beautiful village house of Braj, where the sister of such an eternal companion of Krishna is sleeping inside. But outside our house, there is a cowshed. There's a barn. And there, on one side of the house, that is diagonally opposite to each other, on one side, a she-buffalo has been tied. And on exactly opposite side, diagonally opposite to each other, is the calf. So the mother buffalo, that is a she-buffalo, and the calf are not near each other. They are diagonally opposite to the property of the house. And Andal gives us further picturization of the house. The calf is very hungry and is bleating out to the she-buffalo saying, please give me some milk. But both of them are tied to a wooden pole. And we all know that unless the cowherd man comes or the cowherd boy comes and he unties the calf will go running and suck the milk from the udders or the teats of the buffalo, of her mother. Unless that happens, the calf will not be satisfied. And what to speak about the mother buffalo? She also will be only satisfied when she gives abundant amount of milk to the calf. So in this way, please open your hearts to see the scene where the young calf is bleating out. He's saying, please give me some milk. Please untie me. But nowhere the cowherd man is to be seen because he has abandoned his duties. Why has he abandoned the duties? Because he has gone behind Krishna. Because Krishna wants some services, so he has left his services and he has gone behind Krishna. and is always engaged in taking care of Krishna's personal services. But the mother buffalo cannot keep on hearing the agony, the pain of the calf. So she is letting go of the milk through her teats, and it's pouring down like a river from her udders. And it's pouring down like a river from the one side of the property, and it's diagonally flowing through the property, and it is reaching like a river. Now you might say, how much milk is there in the udders? This is a mother's love. Love is beyond bounds. And this she buffalo is pouring out all this milk, and it is flowing like a river from the one end of the property to another where the calf is, and the calf is bending down and licking this milk. But because of this river which is flowing by, there is a slush which is formed on the property. There is a slush of land where the milk has mixed with sand, and it has created a very whitish, brownish, muddy swamp kind of a feeling. And on these swampy little ground, all the 5 lakh gopis are tiptoeing themselves. They are putting their feet on this swamp. They are walking on this swamp. They are swaying their path. They're going from, they're taking one step and another, and they are carefully wading through this milk and slushy water and mud. And they are arriving at the doorstep, knocking on the door, holding on to the threshold, knocking on the door, and saying the verse. So this is the context that Andal gives, that what is going on while she utters the beautiful verse. This verse is in Tamil, again requesting the girl, the sister of the eternal companion, the Gopala, who has left his duties and gone to serve Krishna. She's requesting her to get up. Kanaittilangetterumai kannu kirangi, Ninaittu mulai valiye nindrupal sora, Nanaittillam serakkum, Narche valangadai, Pandit Talaivila Ninvasal Kadaipatti, Sinattinal Tennilangai Komanai Chetta, Manathakiniyan Padavum Nivaittiravai, Inettil Elindirai Idena Peru Rakkam, Anattilattar Manindelo Rambavai. Of course, my pronunciation of Tamil is not proper. However, there are many Carnatic singers who sing all these verses in very beautiful way. But nevertheless, let us try to see the second dimension, which is the verse and translation. And my dear devotees, please try to see these as layers. As and when you see a verse, which is mentioned by Andal, as and when you open each layer, you get deeper and deeper meanings. So the first layer that we are trying to unpeel from the verse is to try to understand and translate the verse as per the words that are being given. So it will give us a general contextual understanding of what's happening. So the first line of the verse talks about this scenario which we just described, about how the calves are crying out for milk, and they're fondly thinking. The she buffalo, the mother buffalo, is fondly, out of motherly love, the she buffalo is thinking about the calf. So it says, Kanattilanga terumai, Yerumai means buffalo. Kandrup kirangi. So fondly thinking of their calves and imagining that they have stretched their mouths to their udders. And please imagine, they both are diagonally opposite to each other on the property. But the calf are stretching their mouth as if they think they will reach out to their udders if they stretch their mouth. But the distance is too large, and they have been tied to the wooden pole. But with hope that the mother will come to them and feed their teats and the udders to them so that they can suck the fresh milk from the udders of the she buffalo. The calves are stretching their mouths to reach out to the udders, but the distance is too far. Ninaitta mulai valiya nindrupal sora. But this scene, though the calves do not understand why the mothers are not walking up to them, the mother feels a lot of love in the heart. And she feels, my calf should get the milk. So what she does is she immediately starts to rain their milk through their teats. She doesn't hold back. She lets go of the milk and it starts pouring down from her teats like a river, and it's raining down milk. And we all know buffalo milk is more thicker. So it's like a very thick rain of milk which is falling down from those teats, and they are falling down on the ground, and it's forming a river. Nanaitha illam sirakkum narche valangathangai. So this is very important verse where she's saying that this has completely soaked the property with the milk. And she's saying, oh, sister of the wealthy owner of such herds of cattle, where is that milkman? Where is your brother who is supposed to milk these buffaloes, who is supposed to untie these calves so that they can go and drink the milk? He is nowhere to be seen. And because he is not seen, nobody has untied the calf. And because nobody has untied the calf, the entire property is now soaked with milk, and thick milk, thick Brajvasi Vrindavan milk flowing from the udders of the she buffalo. Now, one might think, why are we not mentioning about cows? Generally, when we say Vrindavan, we say about cows. Why are we mentioning buffaloes? Andal is very, very smart. This can be a question which can be running in our mind. Prabhuji, whenever we hear Krishna, we only hear about cows. Did he have buffaloes? As per the verse, it says. He also had sheep. So there were all kinds of cattle, all kinds of bovine animals in Nandagram, in Gokul, in Vrindavan. So here, she's saying that the entire courtyard, the entire porch of the house is soaked with milk. But I don't see your brother, who is the milkman. And he's not at hand. And she says, we have waded ourselves on the slushy, muddy water and river of milk. And we have walked ourselves and we have come to the doorstep of your house. Panit talaivila ninvasal kadaipatti. And she says, we are holding on to the bar of your threshold. We are just holding on to this bar. There is like a pandal and there is a pillar, a wooden pole. Generally, the houses, they will create a shamiana. They will create a cloth-like structure outside the house so that it captures all the dew. It captures all the dew and the moisture of the place. And when you poke it with a wooden stick, all the dew which has been captured on the cloth, it will fall down as water. It will be like a false rain. So Andal here is saying that we have waded ourselves through this slushy swamp of milk water, and we are holding on to ourselves with the wooden pole which is constructed here. But let me tell you, you are making us wait for quite a long time because all this dew is falling on our head. Pannit talaivila. That means she's saying that we are standing at your door holding the bar while the dew, the moisture is condensing and dew is falling on our heads. That means that we are standing here for a very long time. We are knocking on the doors, but you are not opening. You're not giving us a signal that you're awake and you're not coming outside. And the girl says that why should I come outside? Why should I be so interested in coming outside? Are you doing any Sankirtan? And Andal says, yes, we are taking the beautiful holy name of Lord Ramchandra. Now, one might think the hidden intention was, the hidden desires of the gopis are to get Krishna as a husband. But why are they mentioning about Ramchandra? Is it because Ram Navami just went by? Is it because Hanuman Jayanti just went by? No. There is a hidden reason to it. We will see it when we reach the Acharya's commentary. She says, the whole shed has become drenched and miry. But let me tell you, we are singing the names of Lord Ramana, who went, and we are talking about the holy names of Lord Ramchandra, who went to Lanka to kill Ravana. And how did he go? He had full of anger when he traveled towards south. He was angry and he was completely determined to kill Ravana and get back Mother Sita. But don't worry. Don't think that Lord Ramchandra is going to be very angry at you. He is very wonderful to look at. Manakkiniyan padavum nivaitaravai. But we are singing of that glorious Sri Rama. For the enemies, he is Yamaraj personified. But for us, gopis, he is the charmer of the hearts. So even Krishna was seen by different devotees in different ways. So here Andal is saying that, but Ramchandra, he is a charmer of the hearts. And we are singing his glories. But even after singing his glories, everybody will open their ears. When there is a fear, you open your ear. And everybody is hearing these holy names. They're opening their ears. But you are not even opening your mouth. What to speak about your mouth? You're in such a deep slumber. Is it out of ignorance? Can't you see that we are singing the glorious names of Lord Ramchandra? Forget about opening your mouth. At least open the door. The whole village knows your secret that you are not opening the mouth because you are in deep ecstasy. You are sister of this eternal companion. Your brother is an eternal companion of Krishna, and hence you are very close to Krishna, very close to Rama. Krishna is also Rama. Ramayate iti Rama. Krishna is also such a personality who charms the hearts of everyone. So he is also Ramayate. He is also Rama. So it seems that he has charmed your heart. So you're not opening the door. So very nicely, she compares the situation. She has situational awareness. She talks about how great the devotee is inside, and she re-emphasizes on her Sankirtan. So just reading this verse together, fondly thinking of her calves and imagining that they have stretched their mouths to their udders, herds of she-buffaloes rain their milk through their teats. O sister of the wealthy owner of such herds of cattle, there are no milkmen at hand. We are standing at your door, holding the bar of your threshold, while the dew is falling on our heads. How much you will make us wait? The whole shed becomes drenched and miry. One who has killed in ire Ravana, the king of Lanka in the south, we are singing the glory of that personality, Sri Rama, the charmer of the hearts. Hearing us sing, how is it you do not deign to open your mouth? Won't you take care of us? Why are you in such a deep slumber? The whole village has come to know of your secret. Now please get up. So such wonderful words of encouragement to get up. But here is where things take a more beautiful turn when the acharyas peel the next layer and they give us more nectar. Because every single word has an upper meaning and it has an inner meaning as well. So the verse number 12, the first three words where she's speaking about the scenario where the she-buffalo and the calf is far away. And here she speaks about the love of the mother buffalo towards her calf. And in fact, Kamban, one of the great poets, he wrote about Ayodhya. And why are we speaking about Ayodhya? Because Lord Ramchandra is mentioned here. And our acharyas, they comment here about Ayodhya. What does Kamban say about Ayodhya? Kamban says that in Ayodhya there are very wonderful ponds, lakes. And when the sun shines bright, and the sun is very happy shining bright in Ayodhya. Why is that? Because it's Surya Vamsha. Lord Ramchandra has chosen the Surya dynasty to appear. So Raghukula is in the Surya Vamsha. So the sun is very happy. So it is smiling brightly. And that would evaporate all the rain, all the water from the ponds, and it will form darkish clouds, rain clouds. And as they pass over Ayodhya, on top of the palaces, they will rain fresh rainwaters. But in Ayodhya, one more scene can be visualized. Kamban says, while this is the normal procedure of rain, that the blackish clouds, Ghanasham, forms and the rain forms, and the rain falls on Mother Earth, in Ayodhya, it seems as if the rain clouds have legs and they walk on land. Now, one devotee said, what does this mean? What do you mean by the clouds have legs and they walk on land? Has the poet gone mad? And Kamban says, no, let me explain. There are so many ponds and lakes. And in these ponds and lakes, there are many buffaloes. And they are also black in color. And they soak themselves completely in water because of the heat. And when their calves cry out for milk from the cowsheds of individual houses, these buffaloes, they get up from the water and they come out. And because they were soaked in water for such a long time, and when they come out and they come on the land, and they hear these calves calling out their names. So these black buffaloes are like black clouds, as if having legs, they walk on land. And all the water that they are soaked, they will drench it on the ground. So especially in Ayodhya, there's so much of cattle. That's what Kamban wants to say. When he's describing initially about Ayodhya, he mentions these verses. And what these mother buffaloes would do, they would just let out the milk from their udders, from their teats, so that it will flow like a river. So out of every pond and lake in Ayodhya, these buffaloes would come out, and there will be a river of milk which will flow towards the calf, and the calf would drink this milk from the river very, very happily. So this is the scene that Kamban is mentioning about Ayodhya. And Kamban is saying, because there is a river of milk, generally when you pour water, agriculture is very proficient. It is very wonderful. And when the agriculture grows very nice, the paddy fields grow very nicely, the wheat grows very nicely when there is sufficient amount of water. But what to say about milk? And that too such proteinous milk which is flowing from the udders and the teats of the she buffalo. Because it is flowing through, the agriculture and the paddy fields are more nourished and they are more wonderful. And the agriculture is just excellent to look at. So this is the description of Ayodhya that Kamban gives. That as soon as the buffaloes come out, it seems like the clouds have legs and they have walked on land and they are pouring out the rain. Along with the rain, they are pouring out the milk. Acharya says, they mention that this is just another peeling of the verse. They peel further. They're saying, we too are like the calf. We are standing at your doorstep, far away from you. You are the mother buffalo. She's not literally calling her a buffalo, but she's saying similes, analogies, the love. You need to give your association. Why won't you give your association? And that association is the milk. So one meaning is to understand that we are also separated like the calves. Even the mother buffaloes, the she buffalo is giving the milk, and is ensuring that the association of milk is there with the calf, but you are not giving so. Now, a devotee asks a question to the Acharya. But what happened to the milkman? Why did he leave his duties? This is not right. When the time is right, the calf needs to get the milk. He should have untied the calf. The calf should have run towards the buffalo and drunk the milk. What was he doing? Oh, he went for Krishna's services. So that does that mean that as a milkman, as a cowherd man, he didn't do his services? Acharya says, don't be quick to judge. The milkman whose sister is sleeping inside the house, let us talk about the milkman for a second. The milkman, the brother of the gopi who is sleeping inside, that brother, that milkman, that Gopala, that Brajvasi, he did not milk the buffalo. He did milk the cow. It's not that he did not do his duties, he did his duties. The cow's milk is compared to in the Shastras as if they are spiritual duties. So for all spiritual purposes, we use cow's milk. And the buffalo's milk is compared to the material duties. So the Acharyas mention that he left all his material activities for himself aside and he went for spiritual activities, which is to please Krishna. So he is a very nice Bhagavata. He's a very nice devotee, and you are such a nice devotee, eternal companions, sister. Another way of understanding, Acharyas mentioned the cow's milk is white in color. And generally, if you see buffalo's milk, it has a greenish tinge to it. And nowadays, we don't know. We just take milk from the shelf. We don't know what is green, what is milk, what is white. It is all processed. But if you actually go to the villages and you see the milk and their color, you will see a greenish tinge in the buffalo's milk. And you will see a whitish tinge. And of course, the difference will be very clear. The one will be very thick and one will be just appropriate as needed. And because it is white in color, it is considered as the Sattva Guna. So the Gopala or the milkman, he did all his activities in the mode of goodness and beyond. Whereas the other colors, which is Rajo and Tamas, he left it aside. And the third meaning is, he always preferred to perform the Lord's service over personal service. In other words, this is a very beautiful verse where she indirectly mentions about Lakshmana before speaking about Lord Ramchandra. Because Lakshmana was such a personality who left Lakshmi Sampanno. Lakshmana was such a personality who left his own happiness and chose the eternal service of the Lord. He understood that service is superior. And the Acharyas also mention the reason of missing milkman in the house is because he understood to first serve the cow, because the cow is like the devotee which is serving Krishna. It gives milk to serve Krishna. So the devotees exist to serve Krishna. So the cow is like a devotee. So first he served the cow. That means he served a devotee. Then when Krishna arrived, he walked behind Krishna and became an eternal companion, ensuring all services for Krishna is done. And he forgot his own personal services, which is compared to a buffalo. So such deep meanings Acharyas give of a simple scene which you can see in the morning, that the calf and the buffalo is far away. So Andal is actually hinting at these. Prabhuji, where do you see all these spoken by Andal? It's a conversation. And without Acharyas, how can we understand what Andal is trying to say? Then she says that this glorious eternal servant and the eternal companion is just like Lakshman. Because Lakshmana was the one who traveled along with Lord Ramchandra, and he said, please take me along with you. And Mother Sita I will serve you and Mother Sita the best. I will ensure that I will be awake, but I will take care of you both. I'll be a personal security guard for you. I will be like a maid servant to you. I will be a brother to you. And in fact, he was the one who took care of both of them, Lord Ramchandra and Mother Sita, like a mother, like an ideal brother, and he gave the happiness of a child, and he even acted as a father. He gave the fatherly love as well to Lord Ramchandra. This I am not saying. This is said in Valmiki Ramayana, Aranya Kanda, Sarga 15, verse number 29. When in Panchavati, in Nashik, they had to build a Parnashala, that means a cottage. And when Lord Ramchandra said, Lakshmana, why don't you build it? He built a very beautiful cottage. And after he finished, Lord Ramchandra took a survey of the cottage and he found that there was a beautiful porch where he could sleep. There was an inner room where they could meet very privately. Mother Sita and Lord Ramchandra can meet. There was a kitchen. There was a meditative place. All these were very wonderful. There was a beautiful garden. And it was all constructed very nicely by Lakshmana. And when Lord Ramchandra saw this, he had tears in his eyes and he said this shloka. Bhavagyena kritagyena dharmagyena cha Lakshmana tvaya putrena dharmatma na samvrita pitamama. He said, you are the knower of others' feelings. Bhavagyena. You know others' feelings. Why did he say that? Why did he say that you know others' feelings? He knew others' feelings because he created a personal room for Mother Sita and Lord Ramchandra without even being asked. He understood the heart of Lord Ramchandra and he built that personal space. And hence Lord Ramchandra said, you are bhavagyena, you understand others' feelings. Kritagyena, and you built this such a beautiful house, such wonderfully, such skillfully. Dharmagyena, and you are showering love with full honesty and rightfulness. There is no tinge of selfishness in you because you didn't build a place for yourself. You could have built a cottage where you could say, this is where I will live, and this is where you, Bhaiya and Bhabi, you will live. But no, you didn't build a house, you didn't build a place, you didn't build a room for yourself. And here you are standing giving full security services while we are living in Panchavati. You are dharmagyena, cha Lakshmana. Tvaya putrena dharmatma. Such you are, such a wonderful personality you are. That na samvrita pitamama. That I feel that even my father, Dasharatha, even though he has gone back home, back to Godhead, or he has gone to the heavenly planets, I feel as long as you are there here, Lakshmana, Samvrita Pitamama, you are like my virtue-souled father, a father with full of virtues, and he is not gone anywhere. He is not forgotten. I see my father in you. This is Lord Ramchandra saying that, Lakshmana, you are like my father because you built such a wonderful house. Just like a father would build a house for the son to live, you have built such a beautiful house for me to live. And what did Lakshmana get in return? It is mentioned by the Acharyas that Lord Ramchandra lost his kingdom for 14 years while he was in the forest. But what about Lakshmana? He did not even lose his kingdom of service to Lord Ramchandra even for 1 second. So one has to understand that the kingdom of service is greater than kingdom of material happiness. And Andal is saying, your brother is such a personality. He is such a great personality that he's nowhere to be seen here because he just left the personal service and he went behind Krishna for executing services. Why are you not waking up? Why are you not coming? What are you thinking about? And she says, you are the sister, you are a woman. And generally, in Srimad Bhagavatam also it is mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kunti Maharani's prayers, Prabhupada says generally women have more attraction towards devotional service. We see that in Bhakti Sangha Japa group as well. Most of our participants are women. They are naturally inclined in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are naturally inclined towards Krishna. So Andal is saying, you are a woman. You should be more inclined than your brother. Your brother is constant companion of the Lord, but you should be more inclined in service. But you are sleeping inside. Why it is so? And then she says that we are standing at the threshold and the dew is falling on our head. Now one might think, all this while I understand she's comparing to the buffalo, to the calf. What is this dew got to do with all of this? In fact, one has to really open their heart and picturize how Andal is standing at the door. She's saying, there is water everywhere. We are actually tiptoeing ourselves because there is a slush swamp and there is a water, the milk river is flowing because so many sheep buffaloes are giving out milk rivers for their calves. So there is water below. And it is cold outside, so the dew is falling on our head. So it's water above. So water is above, water is below. And there is nectar in your heart because you're constantly not sleeping, but you're thinking about Lord Ramchandra or thinking about Krishna, who is Ramayate iti Ramaha. You're thinking about Krishna. So there is nectar flowing as a river from your heart. There is nectar flowing from the teats of the cow. There is nectar flowing from the clouds as dew. And all this will sweep us away. We will be just swept in the flood of such a loving nectar. And hence, to hold on to ourselves, we are holding on to the threshold. Nin vasal kadai patti. I am holding on to the big pillar or the wooden pole so that I am not swept away in this nectarian ocean of love. So you are a woman. Why don't you come outside? You should have natural devotion towards Krishna. And the girl speaks up from inside. Krishna? You are worshipping Krishna? But he never understands a woman's plight. He never understands the gopi's plight. Why should I join you? Then Andal says, okay, maybe I should now twist the story. She says, Sinatteningal tennilangai komanai chattar manakkiniyan padavum nivaittiravai. She said, okay, I'll twist the story. Let me say he is Rama. Why do you say he is Rama? Because he fought an entire battle for a woman. If you think Krishna is not very much a personality who understands the plight of a woman, let me say he's Rama. Because Rama, for one woman, for Mother Sita, he went all the way to Lanka and with full of ire, full of revengeful attitude, with full of anger, he brought down Ravana, the king of Lanka. In fact, the Acharyas mention Hanuman, when he went to meet Mother Sita, Sita said, Hanuman, make it quick. Let me tell you. Make it very quick. Let me tell you. I will not live for more than a month if I do not see Ramchandra. What did she say? She said, I will not live for more than 1 month. My life will go away. My life air will be out of me. And I will die if I don't see Rama in 1 month. I can't stay separated from Ramchandra for 1 month. And Hanuman flew back. And when he passed on this message that this is what Mother Sita said, Rama said to Hanuman, let us start now. Let us not waste time. Because let me tell you, Hanuman, I cannot live without Mother Sita for 1 second. Not even 1 second I can spare. If Sita is not there in front of me, I will die. I cannot spare. Let us start now. I can't be even separated from Mother Sita for 1 second. So my dear devotees, I have a question. Whose love is more? Lord Ramchandra's or Mother Sita's?
Mother Sita.
Sita's love Okay. 1 month versus 1 second. Let's get other answers also before we see how. You can answer in the chat as well. Vasundhara Mataji says Lord Rama. Okay, we have one lawyer for Rama. Vasundhara Mataji, can you please say why do you say so? Okay. Anita Ramya Mataji, yes, go ahead.
Mother Sita.
Why?
In Rama's side, he is having the association of all the devotees are there with him. Means like he is having his sevakas also. But in Mother Sita's side, all are demons. So she's alone over there and thinking of Ram. So that's how I felt Mother Sita.
Okay, Mataji is saying that because Rama has association of devotees, but he's saying I can't live without Sita. Devotees are fine, but Sita is required. Yes, but another Mataji said Mother Sita. Any other answers? Anybody else? Why we are saying Mother Sita, who can live for 1 month without Ramchandra, but Ramchandra cannot live without 1 second. But we are still saying Mother Sita's love is great. Actually, you are right. Mother Sita's love is greater. For example, if you're traveling by train and you came home and you found that your 5 rupees was lost, how many of you will run back to the railway station to search all the places for those 5 rupees? Not much. However, if somebody says that they dropped their wedding ring in the railway station and it is lost, how much time can you spend before running back to the railway station? You will run immediately. For the 5 rupees, you might take, okay, fine, I will take some time. Even if a wallet or something, you will take some time. But if it's a golden ring, you will run immediately. If it's a jewelry, you will run immediately. You will not even think. You will drop everything and run right now. So, of course, I'm not trying to materially compare to a wallet or a jewelry ring the love of Mother Sita or Ramchandra, but I'm trying to say the urgency. Lord Ramchandra is saying, let's go now. I can't even wait for a second. That means his intensity of love is higher. And Andal is trying to showcase that here to say, are you saying that Rama does not know the plight of a woman? He can't even stay for a second. We are singing his glory, Manatakinian, and that makes him charmer of the hearts. And we are singing his glories. And he went to Lanka and he destroyed Lanka. And he had full anger in his eyes. Why did he have anger in his eyes? Because on the second day of battle, there was Ravana on his chariot and there was Lord Ramchandra on the ground. And seeing that, Hanuman rushed in and said, this is not a fair fight. He is on the chariot and you are standing on the ground. I will lift you up on my shoulders, just like how you see Tirupati Balaji coming in Hanumat Vahana. He holds his hand and Tirupati Balaji is on top. Similarly, Lord Ramchandra climbed on the shoulders of Hanuman and Hanuman was supporting his both lotus feet. He was enjoying the darshan of his lotus feet. And those lotus feet were on his palms right now. And he lifted Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra was sitting on the shoulders. His kodanda was on his hand. And he was taking out the arrows. And suddenly Ravana saw, now he can see Lord Ramchandra eye to eye. Till now he was looking Lord Ramchandra down because he was standing on Mother Earth. And suddenly now there is an equal level of vision. And he thought, what is the reason that he has gained such a height? And he saw that it was Hanuman. It is the same monkey who jumped over the ocean. It is the same monkey who killed Akshay Kumar. He is the same monkey who ensured that there was a devastation in the Ashoka Vatika. It is the same monkey who challenged me in the Rajya Sabha. It is the same monkey who put Lanka on fire. And now it is the same monkey who is giving the pedestal, who is giving the height to Lord Ramchandra, and he is carrying Ramchandra. So Ravana started attacking whom? Hanuman first. He started shooting arrows at Hanuman so that all wounds can be inflicted on Hanuman. And that angered Lord Ramchandra. He said, if you want to fight me, don't fight my devotee. Don't bring harm to my devotee. If you bring harm to my devotee, I will ensure that the entire Lanka will be razed to the ground. And that was the anger. And hence she says, with full anger, he was fighting with Ravana. But that anger is very charming to the heart for a devotee. How? There was a conversation between a husband and a wife. Once the wife was asked, how do you like your husband? Is your husband humorous? Is your husband loving? Is your husband romantic? She said, my husband is very romantic, very humorous, very loving. What is that one moment when you liked your husband the most? The wife said that when he was angry. Angry against you? He said, no, not angry against me. When the mother-in-law said something which was directly pointed at me, and the mother-in-law spoke something to the wife which was directly pointed on us, and at that time the husband looked at my mother-in-law with rage in his eyes. That anger to protect me showed the love towards me. That anger of the husband is very beautiful, very wonderful. So there are some anger moments of a man which is relished by a woman. Right? Are you also angry sleeping inside? Why can't you get up? At least we are singing the glories of such a charmer of the heart. Please open the door. Please come outside. Why are you still sleeping? And when she hears this, she says, I will also join you. And now the seventh gopi has also got out. And she spoke about Rama. She spoke about Lakshmana. But actually she's speaking about Krishna, Ramete, the Krishna. So the Srimad Bhagavatam also in the 9th canto, 10th chapter, 22nd verse, we see this beautiful connection, and we see how in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord Ramchandra, this anger is shown. Ramastamaha purushada purushagyannaha kantasasmakshakam asthapahartas swavatte tyaktya trapasya phalam adya jugupsitasya yachhami kala iva kartur alangya veerah. Lord Ramchandra said to Ravana, you are the most abominable of the man-eaters. This is not with a lot of love. This is with anger. Indeed, you are like their stool. You resemble a dog, for as a dog steals eatables from the kitchen in the absence of the householder, in my absence, you kidnap my wife Sita Devi. Therefore, as Yamaraj punishes sinful men, I shall also punish you. You are the most abominable, sinful, and shameless. Today, therefore, I, whose attempt never fails, shall punish you. So this anger of Lord Ramchandra is showcased by Mother Andal. The next verse also says the same thing, and Srila Prabhupada writes the translation, after thus rebuking Ravana. That means he was rebuking, that means there was anger. Lord Ramchandra fixed an arrow to his bow, aimed at Ravana, and released the arrow, which pierced the Ravana's heart like a thunderbolt. Upon seeing this, Ravana's followers raised a tumultuous sound, crying, alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened? As Ravana, vomiting blood from his 10 mouths, fell from his airplane, just as a pious man falls to earth from the heavenly planets when the results of his pious activities are exhausted. So here in this verse, it is mentioned that how he went to Lanka and gained victory over Lord Ramchandra. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions this beautiful one. We also see the Gaudiya connections from Shikshashtakam. Verse number 5, the eternal companion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is requesting the Lord that how can I become your eternal companion? Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrasham vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. So where is this coming? Because she is the sister of an eternal servitor. Yet somehow or the other I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet so that all the services can be engaged and spiritual in nature. So all these principles are there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. And recently I visited Jagannath Puri. And in Jagannath Puri, in the morning darshan, while Jagannath was woken up by Geet Govind, and he was giving a very beautiful darshan, I had the distinct opportunity to stand next to the Garuda Stamba, where the 3 fingerprints of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was placed. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melted that Garuda Stamba out of that divine love for Jagannath. Or in other words, you can say that he just held himself a little support of that Garuda Stamba with those 3 finger marks. And immediately this verse came into my mind as well, that Andal is also doing something similar. While the milk river is flowing, sweeping her off the feet, while the thoughts of Krishna, the nectar in the heart is sweeping her off the feet, while the dew which is forming, which is sweeping her off the feet, she's also holding on to the threshold. These are the indications of great devotees of the Lord who are completely immersed in love. The gopis are immersed in love. Srimati Radharani is immersed in love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the very embodiment of love. So those 2 small indentations on that Garuda Stamba is nothing but pure nectarian love. So we see that the ask from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is only to become an eternal servitor of the Lord. So with that, we complete. The 7th gopi also has joined. So now we go to the last dimension, which is the pictorial treatise of looking at all of this. I encourage all you devotees to raise your hand and try to find these commentaries, what we just spoke about in the pictures. So please raise your hand. We'll follow a decorum by which we can try to guess all that is happening. Please look at the picture on the left and please try to raise your hand and let us know what all do you see in this picture. Yes, anyone?
Ram fighting with Ravana.
Okay, Rama fighting.
And the gopi standing at the door of that gopi who is sleeping.
Okay.
And
Anybody else?
there is a rain of dewdrops on the top.
You can say rain dewdrops. Anybody else? Can they see something else? Can you see their feet?
Yes, the feet are in the slush of the mud and the milk.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you. Now let's look at the right one. Can somebody else try? What do you see on the right?
See the buffalo.
The she buffalo. And what's this white below the she?
The milk and the mud mixed.
And she's holding on to the threshold so that she's not swept away. And what do you see on the top? Who is this personality who is bowing down?
Lakshmana.
Lakshmana, because he's having a bow in his hand. And there is Lord Sita and Ram. Very nice. So this talks about that. Let's look at the next picture. Okay, let's look at the picture on the... Okay, one by one. Yes, let's look at the picture on the top. The left one on the top. What's happening?
The eternal associate is worshipping God.
The eternal associate is worshipping. And what's happening to his house?
Filled with milk.
Filled with milk. And Andal is saying, what's happening? You're forgotten. The pots are fallen down. You're not doing your duty. He's saying, I'm not going to do my personal service. I'm going to do service for Krishna. And what do you see here on the left?
Rama Lakshmana.
Ram, Lakshmana. And Andal is looking at Lord Rama and saying, so nice. Who is this personality?
Ravana.
Ravana, who has lost his crown, who is completely defeated. Okay, next one. This is more beautiful to see.
The eternal associate at the feet of Krishna. The buffalo's
Yes.
milk is pouring out. The pot is broken.
Pot is broken. She is on the threshold holding off. The dew is forming on the threshold door. Ravana is completely defeated. There is Lord Ramchandra and Bharata and all these eternal servitors.
Why
This
is
also
Bharata there too? Why is
He,
Bharata?
he also left everything, his own kingdom, he was ready to offer to Lord Ramchandra. He said, personally, I will not serve. I'll give it to Lord Rama. So that aspect of leaving personal service for the service of the Lord is being depicted here.
Okay. Yeah.
Next picture. Yes, this is very nice to see. We see this Krishna and the eternal servitor, but what do you see here? And what do you see here on the top? What can you speak about the eyes?
These are scorching Ravana.
Scorching, and this is like
The anger of the Lord.
anger, the anger of the Lord, and the dhoti of Ravana is like the fire. The anger of the Lord, and this is the 10 heads of Ravana, and he's falling down from the chariot, as Srimad Bhagavatam says, as if a person falls down from the heavenly planets when all the pious activities are completed. Similarly, Ravana is falling down. And on the left, we see 4 parrots now. Why are there 4 parrots and the teats? We covered this in one of the verses of the sacred vow of Margasisha. The udders of the cow or the buffalo are considered as the 4 Vedas, the 4 teats. And that's why we. Yes.
Kumara.
4 Kumaras, 4 Vedas.
Sorry, 4 Vedas.
The Vedic text, which is mentioned, and hence it's being depicted. Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmana. The same is depicted on the right as well. And she's standing at the threshold. This pose of Andal is very famous, where she's taking support of the threshold and standing there to say that otherwise I'll be swept in the love of Krishna. And the coward boy is always seeing Krishna, what services can be rendered unto him. So those were the pictures. Thank you very much. Today is a glorification of Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana. Maybe it is out of providence that it came in the month of April when we celebrate Ram Navami on April 6th. And it is in the same month we spoke about this verse. So I consider it as a divine providence. Once again, thank you everybody for this August gathering and giving me this opportunity to speak. So we have covered up to 12, the constant eternal companion. We have 3 more gopis to be woken up before we proceed, before we wake up the other personalities. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam satpurayantu tat. Yadatra saushtubam kinchit tat guror evamene. Yadatra skalitam kinchit. Whatever errors are there in this service, may the learned souls correct it. And whatever good is found here, all that what you found belongs to my spiritual master and belongs to Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas. None of them belong to me. Thank you very, very much. If there are any questions, comments, critiques, feedbacks, corrections, more than happy to hear them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Haridas Varya Prabhuji, thank you for a very excellent class. Thank you for the recap of the previous verses, especially after a month and a half long break. Very beautifully you. Thank you for all the quotes from the Siksha Akshatam, Bhagavatam, and Balmiki Ramayana. I really liked when you spoke about Lakshmanji, how how purely, how selflessly he served Lord Krishna. Lord Ramayana, Ramchandra, and Sita Maya, without anything, just utter selfishly, nothing for himself. he could have stayed back home in the kingdom with his wife, but yet he came to the forest and just served them day night. All the time. Sorry. So happy to have you back, dear devotees. If you have any questions or realizations, please go ahead.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
It just
Yes,
brings
Prabhu.
me in my mind this Vayam tu na truptyam uttam slok vikrame swadu swadu pade pade. Every word of your discourses are really, very, very sweet. That's what I'm experiencing. And so thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice. Very good.
Please keep rendering your blessings, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your sweet words of encouragement. Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any questions, comments? Okay. If no more comments, back to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Once again, I would like to thank you, Prabhuji, for your valuable time and association this morning, for a very beautiful class and beautiful slides, and for starting this beautiful session. Looking forward to your association next Friday. Dear devotees, if there are no more questions or realizations, I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji and all the assembled devotees. Do I have your permission to close the call, Prabhu?
Yes,
Once
Mataji.
Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhuyacha Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
समस्त वेस्ट वृंद की जय,
Jai.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हिज
Jai.
ग्रेस हरिदास वर्य प्रभु जी की जय.
Jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam. Very
Krishna.
wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare
And
Krishna.
as usual, all the
Onwards.
time saying,
Hare Krishna.
very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, are you closing the call?
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, are you there? Maybe she's busy. She will close in a while, I think.
Okay.